If we tell all the women in Ireland now, and they tell one other person or they tell their daughters, then we'll actually eventually have a nation of women that understand their health and a nation of men that understand women's health too. Because some men do come to the shows, very few, but some men have been in my talks, as in like if I've done a company talk, there may be a few men in it. And the men always come up at the end and go, I wish I'd known that about my wife. I would have been so much more supportive. Or they say, I'm going to go home to my wife and I'm going to tell her what to do, or I'm going to tell her she can get help, or I'm going to talk to my daughter differently about her body. I'm not going to use the term Mary anymore. I'm going to use the word vulva, so she knows what her bits are. And
because it's the void of that lack of conversation, because the human mind will make up stories and all of a sudden that becomes the narrative of why the relationship isn't working. It's just something simple and the taboo doesn't allow it.
This is it.
That's great. I mean, I think of what you're doing, Laura, like changing the narrative in Ireland, like that no wonder you have so much energy for this, like the purpose. I can imagine the dopamine biologically that's just giving you driving
you've actually just said
forward.
that to me. Now that I think about it, that really is. And it's the DMs from women saying, you've actually changed my life. Like I just got one the other day saying, Laura, I just want you to know that like I suffered from migraines for years and regular UTIs, and I was being put to urologist and neurologist back and forth. And she goes, I was listening to some of your reels. I went into my GP and asked for HRT, and she's a gorgeous woman in her mid-40s. She gave me HRT and everything, all my symptoms have gone.
My God.
And that is like a woman my age who's, so there's so much of that. And then, there's women that do struggle. They may go to their GP and their GP still isn't fully educated in menopause and says to them, oh, I know you're 48 and you have 10 symptoms, but actually you need to wait till your periods have stopped and you're 51. That's not the case. Women need to go to another doctor or a menopause specialist in that case. But that's easy for me to say. If a woman has a medical card, she can't change doctors. So it's about getting that education out there for healthcare practitioners as well.
And there's a lot more work obviously that needs to be done. I remember hearing a story and it quite shocked me. It was, I can't remember the athlete's name, but it was an English athlete, big name. But her trainer, when she was having her period, wouldn't talk about that. He was too old-fashioned, and he says, no, we won't have that conversation. So literally her performance on the track and field was impacted because of his old-fashioned ideas around this stuff. Like, that is crazy in this day and age.
But sure, we've just seen it with the camogie skirt short issue.
Oh
and actually I had a lady on my podcast, one of my first podcasts actually, Margaret, and she's a physical therapist and she's very involved in the GAA and women's sports. And she was saying like, so the sports that girls wear, the GAA shorts, they're just like versions of the males. So like when young girls develop and their waist goes in and their hips go out, they're not straight up and down like boys. So, the shorts ride up their arses. They're picking their shorts out of their bums before they go and
just
take
naturally